Hi, this is David again, another video today. The title of this video is basically, is Utah a good place to live? Is Utah a good place to live? Well, I graduated from BYU in 1972. I've been in Utah since 1966, 1967, so I have a little bit of a history of the evolution of Utah. There's a lot of people these days that are going out of California. A lot of people leaving other cities, other areas of the United States, and some of them are coming to Utah. I watch a lot of podcast content of people who have come here from other states that are Mormon and some that are non-Mormon. So let me see if I can give a little bit of an overview. Years ago, in Utah, it was hideous. That's a kind word. In 1966, the Mormons were so mean, so cruel, so hideous, so satanic, that if you weren't one of them, you better get the hell out of here. It's that simple. It was that simple back in 1966. Now we're in 2025, and the Mormon Church. See, here's the phone again. It's the third one, Tay. Or is that yours or mine? Oh, okay. Mine. Hello. I'm on video right now. Call me back later. Thank you. Okay. So going back to the video, Satan can't win if you keep trying. If you give up, you roll over and play dead. Satan is going to win. But anyway. Satan loves cell phones, cameras, mechanical things. They're easy. They're easy. Spiritual things, he's an idiot on, but these mechanical things he's good at. Back in 66, it was miserable. I went to BYU in 67, 68, somewhere in there, and BYU has gone backwards since then. BYU was better in 1966. Than it is in 2025. The ranking of Brigham Young University was higher. It's continually gone down over the last 8, 10, 15 years. BYU is getting lower and lower and lower in quality of education. And with their new educational director there, I don't know if he worked for Hitler at one time or he studied in SS parochial school, but if you work at BYU right now, your wife and your husband better stay active if you work there. If you don't have them stay active, they will fire you. When I say this shit, I nearly want to fall off on the goddamn floor. Can you imagine you going to work and your employer saying, your wife has to do this, this, and this, and if she doesn't, we're going to fire your ass. You lose your car payment, your house payment, your 401, you lose your insurance, you lose your children, you lose your prestige, you lose your reputation. BYU's worse. It's worse. The only good thing about BYU these days, I want to be fair. I want to be fair. Soaking, I think it could be a good thing at BYU. I don't know. I don't know, but if soaking offsets the Nazi regime over there, it's kind of a toss-up. But back in 66, we didn't know anything about soaking. You young people invented that, and we went to the moon, but you invented something much more pleasurable and important. So I don't know. I'll never be able to do soaking again, but, when you're old, you can't soak. Anyway, overview. The Mormon Church basically doesn't change unless their reputation is at risk or their the courts. No Utah court changes the Mormon Church. All courts in Utah are still LDS courts. The judges, probably 90% of them are still LDS. The legislature, the Senate, the House of Representatives, the governor are all Mormons. Those things have not changed much. Some of those people have moderated a little bit. Back in the old days, if you were a Gentile or you were an apostate, you were kind of like in the Aztec community, they would put you on an altar, rip your heart out while it was beating, and take bites of it. These days, they're not quite that mean, but it's still predominantly LDS. Now, the population has changed significantly. In '66, the population of Mormons in Salt Lake City and the state of Utah was pretty high. It was like 70, 80%. These days, it's less than 50%, which is amazing. And that is causing some change. Now, in evolution, change never happens quickly. The LDS community in Salt Lake City is much more progressive than it's ever been. If you're gay or you're lesbian, there's bars, there's nightclubs, there's parties, there's much more acceptance. A gay parade they have in Salt Lake City. Oh my God. If you'd had to have a gay parade in 1966 in Utah, everybody would have had an AR-15, and they would point them through their garments and shoot you. So that has changed a lot in Salt Lake City and surrounding areas, basically Ogden, Logan, a little bit in Logan. Logan is still pretty conservative. A lot of old people still up there. And Provo and Orem, if they're not translated like the city of Enoch, any day now, I'll be surprised. You don't want to fuck with Utah County. It's all Mormon, and you fit in or you get the hell out. It's that simple. Now, there's some outskirts. St. George has become much more modern. St. George, Hurricane, and those areas down there have younger people, more educated people, and more people that enjoy the climate. St. George area is a beautiful area, and that area has become more liberal as the years have gone by. So let me give you kind of an overview summary. If you want to come to Utah and live, it is very good if you have a family. Now, you need to put a sticker on your children's forehead if you're not LDS that says, fuck me, I'm not LDS. If you put that sticker on, they'll probably leave your child alone. But your child is going to be mixed into the school system, and the school system is predominantly female teachers still. There's some male teachers. Years ago, I had a little trouble. I never have a little trouble. I always have big trouble in my life. I don't know why. My little Abigail, who is now a sergeant in the army in NATO in Sicily, she said fuck in the gymnasium of the Bountiful High School, and a lady who was LDS, I guess a returned missionary, heard the word fuck for the first time in her life, and she wanted to tag Abigail for the rest of her life as her citizenship was defective. I had to go to the management. I had to do a lot of shit, and I fixed it. But those days can still be here a little bit. I do remember there used to be at the Ward House down the road here, they had what they called trunk or treat. Trunk or treat. I thought that's where the Mormon men put pedophile, the drivers, the Mormon pedophile drivers, put children in the trunk of their car and drove them around like, what was her name? I can't remember. Anyway, it was trick or treat. They put candy in the trunk of a car, and all the neighborhood kids could come in. They didn't see if the 3-year-olds were wearing garments or not. They would let the non-Mormon children have candy out of the trunk. I don't think they do that anymore. And I do remember that the Mormon church would go to the city council in Bountiful, Utah, and rope off a street. The Mormons owned the damn street. It was a public street. But they would put ropes at the end and the police at the end and said, this is for children and trick-or-treating, and you can't drive down this street. Well, I drove down the street, and again, it wasn't a little problem. It was a big problem, but it got fixed. So anyway, I tried to pull the Jesus mask off of the authorities and the members, but God, that super glue holds tight. It really holds tight. So in overall, Utah County, I would be really uncomfortable if I was a non-member to live in Utah County. In the same way with Springville and American Fork, Be careful of Lehi, too. Lehi can be a real hard LDS area. Draper, much better. Draper had the prison there for years and much more accepting. All the pedophiles of the Mormon Church lived in Draper in the prison. But anyway, they've now moved over in Salt Lake by the airport. Salt Lake City, pretty modern. I see Salt Lake City and the basic suburbs, Tooele, South Jordan, Murray. A lot of those adjacent communities are extremely fair and beautiful and delightful to live in. Now, Park City and Alta, Snowbird, Sundance, the ski resorts have always been liberal and have always been, reasonable with human beings. And they continue to be. A lot of people still come to Salt Lake City to those ski resorts. So you're going to have some things that go on. Now, let me kind of leave this video with this example. And it's a sad example. And I hope, I get through it. I have a gentleman who's a friend of mine who's from Jamaica. He's 24 years old, and any of you that have gone to school in Jamaica, you don't have to guess that he's not a red man, he's not a yellow man, he's not a brown man, he's a black man. And he lives here now in Bountiful, Utah, and very handsome, about 6 feet, very good build, in shape, highly articulate, kind, gentle, wonderful human being from Jamaica. Well, he's licensed as a nurse's aide. He has EMT certification. He has all kinds of degrees in nursing and assistant to nurses and hospitals and nursing homes. Now, I want to be fair. I'm only going to focus on facts. 2 of the nursing homes he worked in, now these are older people. Now remember, a nursing home, Donald Trump isn't there yet, but we're saving him a spot in the demented unit. But anyway, 2 or 3 or 4 of the residents of the nursing home would yell to him, "Hey boy, hey boy, hey boy." And see, this is bothering me. He came home and wanted to talk to me, and he told me that. And he said, "David, it really hurts my feelings when people do that to me." And I listened. I told you before, I do 2 or 3 hours of counseling a day still in my old age. And he said, "Well, David, that's happened to me in 2 of the nursing homes, and the other nursing homes that I was in, people would come to me and say, 'Can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hair?'" Well, as a behaviorist and as a counselor, tough love and cognitive therapy, there's many ways of approaching therapeutic problems with human beings. And I had to work with him a long time. And he's pretty good these days. And I had to tell him that these people have a Book of Mormon and they have a religion. And he mentioned that in the nursing homes he had to change a lot of dirty garments, that these people were mostly LDS in the nursing homes. And they treated him like that. And he came to me on at least 2 occasions tearful. He's a full-grown man, proud man, a well-educated man, a very compassionate man. Any man that would go into nursing to wash people and change diapers certainly emulates the principles of Christ. For him to have to work in Utah with that kind of environment, the Mormons say, well, of course, in 1978, these people can now have the priesthood. We still hate them, and we're still going to say, hey, boy. We're still going to say, hey, can I touch your hair? We're going to say, I don't want a nigger taking care of me. Has Utah changed? A little bit. The law makes it change a little bit. Money makes it change when the FTC fines them $5 million. Yeah, the Mormons will change, but their hearts don't change. Their hearts are hardened, and this young man is just simply trying to earn a living. He's trying to help people. He's trying to show up, do the job. And he has to deal with that because he has black skin. Overall, there has been some movement in the state of Utah. The Salt Lake City hub of the wheel radiating out throughout the state. Yeah, the hub is pretty reasonable these days. Rent, jobs, technology, freedom, fairness, the police. There could be a little bit of profiling now and then, but I haven't seen that in the last 5 or 8 years in the Salt Lake Police Department. I have seen it in rural areas of Utah. But anyway, as you radiate out from Salt Lake City, it can still be very, very conservative in the farmlands and the old people. I did have another gentleman, and I keep saying I'm going to end this story, and you know me, I never fucking end this story because the story never ends. He was driving truck, and he was rehabilitated. He was handicapped, but he was able to drive truck, and he was hired to deliver alcohol to stores. Well, he went into a store in why don't slipping my small store? In I think Nephi, which is outskirts a little bit. There's a hospital there, and Nephi is somewhat modern. But he was delivering alcohol to. God, I can't even say this with a straight face. The bishop, the fucking bishop, owned a liquor store, and his wife in Nephi. So he was delivering, and he is a very independent individual, a very kind individual, again, and trying very hard just to make a living, pay his rent, whatever. And Rochelle, that was her name, Rochelle. Fuck you, Rochelle. If I didn't use your last name, but you and your husband, the bishop, were total 24-karat assholes. He was delivering to you, and you didn't like him because he wasn't a Mormon. You could tell he wasn't a Mormon because he had a mohawk. And if you have a mohawk or you have long hair, you will be crucified in Utah. And so they made a complaint about him, said that he stole some alcohol off the truck that he was delivering. It wasn't true. There had to be several state officials that showed up. There were several the company officials showed up, and Rochelle, the bitch, bishop's wife, orchestrated this entire fiasco. After it got going, I called the bishop. I talked to him, and he was an asshole. So, assholes, male and female, make little assholes. And that's, the population sometimes in these small communities. So is there still discrimination? Yes. Is it still racial? Yes. Is it still brown people, black people? Yes. Is it non-members? Yes. If you are outside the normal curve, the box, if you have long hair, or goddamn, you better not have a tattoo. If you have a tattoo on your ass and your garments cover it, you're going to get away with it a little bit. But boy, if you got a tattoo on your ankle or on your wrist, or female especially, you're a whore. You're a walking whore in Utah, and they're going to hit on you all the time. The men won't hit on you. They're too tied up with the children. The pedophiles, they're not going to hit on you. Full-grown women are pretty safe in Utah. It's the children that have vaginas and the little boys that have penises and Boy Scouts. They're not safe. So anyway, the best overview, I would have rated Utah in 66, 67 as a 2 or a 1 for living. These days, I'm going to rate it to major cities, Los Angeles, New York, Minneapolis. I'm going to say it's close to a 4 or a 5. In Salt Lake City, you're going to be treated a little bit like a human being. But if you're outside that into the rural area, they're going to fuck with you, and you better be ready for it. I did just sell 2 cars here, and I had 2 beautiful LDS people, men, that showed up. They were honest. They were sincere. They were people you want to do business with. What you have to remember about Utah is the members are prejudiced because of the leadership. The members themselves are not evil people. They're stupid. The net of the Mormon Church puts out into the world ocean of humans looking for stupid and mentally ill people. And it gathers a lot of them. It's the leadership that is satanic. It is the leadership that are false prophets. Generally, the Mormons that you're going to live next to in your neighborhood are going to be pretty clean, decent people. They're going to try to convert you. If you don't convert, they may push back a little bit. I did have a brown woman contact me in her HOA. When she moved in, she was Catholic, and the Mormons attacked her over and over again to join the church, and she said, no, I don't want to join the church. And there was, I'm going to say, a light to moderate backlash. Back in the old days, they would have tarred and feathered her. She didn't deserve it. Of course, Joseph did. But in these days, it's better. It is getting better. And please distinguish between the people and the leadership. It's a cult. And people who belong to a cult basically are not evil people. It's the cult leadership that is evil. The people that are in the cult are innocent. They're just stupid. They don't think. They don't want to make their own decisions. Facts don't matter to them. And they'll do what the cult says. And so give the people a break. Stay away from the leadership cult. They're vicious. They're vile. They'll sue you. The law doesn't apply to them. They lie for the Lord. It goes on and on. But anyway, I'm not a travel agent. But if you want to move to Utah, there's some very good things about the state of Utah. There's still some negative things. But every state you go to, there's going to be some negative things. But if you're black or brown, you may want to be real careful who you come to Utah and associate with, because you're still not well accepted here.